I think that we are live. So, good morning, colleagues. Welcome to the 2020 ABPCO Excellence Awards virtual. For those we have not met, my name is Michael Smith, and alongside me is my colleague Barbara Coltwood. We are the co-chairs for ABPCO and your co-hosts for today's ceremony. We are absolutely delighted to welcome you to this special event in our calendar. And like you, we are very excited to firstly hear from all of our finalists, but then discover who this year's winners will be. It's a strange year. And we are indeed really sorry not to be meeting you in person, but I hope you will enjoy the event today in a showcase of excellence. We look forward to meeting you again in person next year. Now, for this event, and on behalf of actually all of our finalists, I really do encourage you to tweet about the event using hashtag ABPCO Excellence Awards 2020, and or share your comments in other social media channels as you see fit. As you know, today is all about focusing on the excellence of our membership and showcasing best practice in the event sector.
It certainly is, Mike. This event gives us an opportunity to come together to share best practice and to celebrate excellence in our industry. This year is no different. There's still been excellence. It has just been delivered in different ways. A cross-section of ABPCO members made up our judging panel, and they were truly impressed with the caliber of nominations. We would like to thank the judges for their time and commitment to this process. Do please note, everyone, that in the interest of transparency, it's important we clarify that judges were split over the different categories, and where a board member's organisation is up for an award, they were not one of the judges for that category. I know this because my organisation is actually up for an award this year. We felt it important not to exclude the board's organisations from the awards, but to manage the conflicts appropriately. I want to congratulate everyone who put an application forward. The quality was outstanding, as you might expect. It was tough, but we have selected 3 finalists in each of the categories, in-house and agency. And throughout the event today, we will invite a representative to pitch their submission. We have changed the format slightly this year and have taken a leaf out of Strictly Come Dancing's book. No, the finalists won't need to dance, but the judges' marks will class as half of the votes, and the votes from today will award the other half. I can't wait to hear from them all. We also have some partner recognition awards to present and some lockdown heroes to hear from. The event will finish with the presentation of the Chairman's Award for Excellence. Over to you, Mike.
Fantastic. One of the main roles as hosts is to ensure that we run to time. And I should say, to include everything, time is tight. But to help, we have pre-recorded the finalist submissions. But we will have a couple of minutes after each video for a question from you, our audience. So please do type any question you have into the live Q&A button at the bottom of your screen. I should repeat that because just in case the discussion forum button is available, please put the questions from the finalists into the live Q&A button at the bottom of your screen. We will select one and ask each finalist a question. Now, first, let me explain how the voting will work. Now, as Barbara has mentioned, this is judged by our members only. Therefore, it is vitally important that you all are able and can participate. And as such, we are really encouraged to see such great numbers with us today. I think we have possibly over 150 people. When it comes to the time, Barb and I will let you know, but you will notice a voting panel on your screen after the relevant finalist video. There will be 2 votes. One, and the first one will be for the best in-house conference organizer, and the second for the best agency conference organizer. Now, as mentioned, the voting poll will be displayed to the right of your screen when activated, and you will have 30 seconds to cast your vote. So please do so when we ask or when you see the poll activate. Although everyone will be able to access the voting poll, members and non-members, the system will only recognize votes by those with a member status in their record. So, just to remind you, today's total votes will be made up by adding your votes today to the judges' marks, and each amounting to 50% of the final score. Barbara.
Thanks, Mike. We think that is what makes awards so special and unique, is the fact that they are voted by peers. So no pressure. We do ask that you please bear in mind that you're voting for who you think met the criteria rather than who presented the best. This year, each pitch will focus on what makes the event worthy of recognition, what was innovative and challenged previous practice, and what was the impact and legacy of the event. And so it gives me great pleasure to introduce the 3 presenters in our category for Best Conference by an In-House PCO. And so we go to IPSE. It's our first finalist, a fantastic submission with a very tight turnaround. The association was clearly focused their work and time in making sure delegates got value for money and that sponsors were able to engage with delegates through a virtual platform. Teamwork shining through in the application, and it's clear their focus is making sure their members are looked after pre and post conference. To hear more about it, let's hear from Sarah Harper.
A flagship event to bring together freelancers from across the UK. The event had been confirmed to take place in the middle of June as a conference and exhibition in London, along with national fringe events. However, earlier this year, it soon became apparent that we wouldn't be able to run this event physically, and freelancers had also been hit hard by the pandemic. As the trade body for the self-employed, we had already been leading the way publicly with vital guidance for freelancers, and we would therefore continue this with holding the event on the same day in June, just 9 weeks away, to allow freelancers the ability to connect and access expert advice they so desperately needed during these times. We then needed to redesign NFD into a coronavirus-focused virtual event during the worst of the pandemic. The biggest challenge we had was to create new relevant content to help freelancers navigate the crisis. Content would sit beneath the themes of well-being, winning work, finance, and taking charge of your business. All sessions should now, however, deliver practical tips on how freelancers can improve their freelance businesses during and after the pandemic. To run the event, we needed to innovate with online platforms. To deliver the best experience for our members, we chose platforms that both we as organisers and our members were used to. By using these platforms we knew well, we had good relationships with, it meant that we were able to move quickly and efficiently in setting up the platforms. The first challenge was how to develop an event app into a platform that was going to be central to running an online event, and whereby every attendee could access all elements of the event. By working with Socio App, we were able to deliver this. The event app could also now be used on the desktops, which was important for the conference element of the event, so those at home could view sessions on a larger screen. Networking was vital to the event. We used the app's revolutionary technology of Shake and Connect and scheduled in call, shake and connect times in all sessions where attendees were encouraged to shake their phones and would then be connected to others doing the same thing up and down the country. Attendees could also set up their profiles and message other attendees and speakers, along with building their personalised agenda for the day. We ran a live feed throughout where attendees could chat to each other, and an IPSE member of staff was always on hand here to help out. We also needed to revamp sponsor packages and work closely with Socio App on how these packages could be delivered for a virtual event. We increased sponsor exposure by adding in sponsor announcements to all attendees and additional branding throughout. In terms of delivering the content, we know that time was extremely precious to our attendees, so it was important that the event was as flexible as possible, allowing freelancers to drop in and out of the event and not to lose out on a day of work. Therefore, speaker content needed to be short and snappy and of high quality and value. To deliver this, we mixed up the session formats to keep the sessions engaging and reduce the session lengths to enable greater attention from attendees, including plenty of scheduled breaks. The majority of sessions were live, allowing for live Q&As via an online question box to keep the sessions as interactive as possible. And by using a GoToWebinar channel, this meant we could record all sessions for attendees to catch up on after the event. And unlike other platforms, the recordings will be available for as long as they are required and relevant. It was also important for freelancers to gain confidential advice during these times. So we used Calendly to run nearly 50 personalised one-to-ones during the day. For example, how to update your LinkedIn profile or for insurance advice. So what was the impact of the event? So all 370 people attended, but the event was more accessible and inclusive than previously. We recognised that it was a tough time for freelancers, and by using cost-effective technology, we were able to reduce our costs and pass this reduction down to our ticket prices. And feedback also showed it was less time-consuming to attend with no travel time, and allowed those that might not have been able to attend a physical event the chance to attend one online. It also allowed for the first time attendees from other countries to attend from within Europe and the USA. We had a 25% increase in media search, including mentions on Radio 2 and the Radio 6 Breakfast Show, and feedback shows that 89% of attendees would attend a virtual event in 2021. Overall, IPSI supported its members and the freelance community in delivering this event in really difficult times and created the most relevant and important NFT to date. And that's why our event is worthy of recognition for this award. Thank you for listening.
To wait to see if we have any questions. And so in case anything else doesn't come in, I just want to ask you what proved most popular with your sponsors in the new virtual redesign that you did for them?
The most popular thing probably was the one-to-ones for the sponsors. So in the physical event, they would have been able to network with all the attendees. They would have had exhibition stands there. And that was one thing that they really wanted to talk to our attendees. And that was going to be really hard on a virtual event. So we did set up the Calendly one-to-ones, and people could book one-to-one slots 2 weeks before the event. And the sponsors found a lot of value in that. And then through the app, we were able to deliver additional exposure and push notifications and announcements out to attendees. And yeah, the sponsors are really happy with that, so much that they've come on board for other virtual events since then. So that's been really good.
Fantastic. Thanks so much, Sarah. That's brilliant.
Thank you.
Thank you. So, ladies and gentlemen, and now we move on to our second finalist. And this is from the Oxford Farmers. And very soon we are going to the Oxford Farming Conference. And now we would like to hear from Julie Archer. First of all, I will tell you why I was particularly keen on this entry. Making changes to an established conference is always a challenge, but the changes outlined in this submission clearly worked. They were not only embraced new activities and ways of doing things, but acknowledged in the history and as such produced an event accessible to all. So let's hear from Julie.
My name's Julie Archer. I'm the Managing Director of Archer Yates. And since 2017, I've been the Company Secretary for the Oxford Farming Conference. This first took place in 1936, a bit before I was around, but it's held still annually every January in Oxford. It's attended by agricultural leaders from all elements of British and international agricultural industry. In March 2019, we met with the OFC chair at the time, Matt Naylor, to understand and agree his objectives for the 2020 conference and the strategy as to how we would deliver this. The conference theme was to be growing a healthy society. This next slide shows Matt's 3 key priorities and our strategy. He wanted a 10% increase on the 600 attendees in 2019. We wanted to increase the 2019 net revenue of £330,000 by at least 5%. And we wanted a more fun, less formal and more diverse conference. So the next slide shows the 6 key activities we agreed and the results of the strategy we delivered to make 2020 better, bigger and different. Each of these challenged previous practice and were for the OFC quite new and innovative. So we relocated the press room from the East School so that we were able to fit in an additional 120 delegates. We increased the prices but maintained the previous year's price as our early bird, giving attendees the chance to still register at a lower rate. We had added 2 new diversity and inclusion events to the first morning, a new, more informal and lower cost curry night to take 150, and we introduced 5 interactive breakout sessions on farming and health related subjects. And lastly, we introduced new, bigger sponsorship opportunities, including breakout sessions, diversity fringes, additional dinners, that sort of thing. So what did we achieve? The next slide gives a simple summary of the results that were achieved. The key legacy of the 2020 Oxford Farming Conference is that it's now seen as the new standard. We delivered on all the objectives set: greater attendance numbers, higher revenue, and a more fun, less formal conference. Most importantly, we delivered on bringing in a new, more diverse and a younger audience. And crucially, we did this without alienating or diminishing the very important traditional core supporters. The biggest legacy has been the breakout sessions, which were a huge hit, and their virtually equivalent for the 2021 conference is a series of OFC bite-sized webinars. Interest in this has been outstanding, with over 1,500 registrations for the 7 webinars. Most satisfying is that more than half of these are from registrants who have never previously attended the Oxford Farming Conference. In fact, it was so successful, we will continue with them on a monthly basis from January 2021 to the Oxford Farming Conference in January 2022. My final slide sums up our chair's endorsement and why we believe we should win an ABPCO Excellence Award. Thanks for listening.
From the floor? Otherwise, I do have one up my sleeve. Just give it a moment. Okay, let's have a check here. Don't forget, everybody, put your questions in the live Q&A chat if you do have any for our nominations today. So, Julie, I just you said there was a big emphasis on fun. I just wanted to find out from you what proved the most popular in terms of fun at your conference.
So we were very lucky this year in that we were able to hold a live conference, which not many of my colleagues have managed. But we run in the first week of January, which suits our farming community. What we wanted to do, because the event's been running since 1936, we found it was quite staid, quite formal. A lot of the attendees were, should we say, the sort of the farming land agents, that sort of thing. We wanted to encourage a younger, fresher audience and a more diverse audience. So probably the biggest thing we did to bring some fun was to have a more formal dinner. On one of the nights, there was the option to still go to a formal event or to attend an event at the University Club in Oxford. And we set up a curry night. Comedian and people could go at a very low ticket price to join that. We sold out very quickly. We had 150 places and they sold very, very quickly. And I think that was probably the main way we brought some fun for particularly the younger audience, but actually it proved to be popular across the board.
That's great, and lucky you to have had a physical event this year.
I know.
We take our hats off to you for that.
It's been tough, but next year will be virtual, that's for sure.
Thank you so much, Julie. That was great.
Thanks, Barbara.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, to our third finalist in in-house agencies today. And we're going to hear from Claire Gallagher in a moment. I was particularly keen to really look at a real flexibility and commitment to change in this particular submission from healthcare conferences. It demonstrated a real understanding of the stakeholder needs and embracing change to enable additional support for the workforce in this vital field of work. Let's hear from Claire.
Good afternoon. I'm Claire Gallagher, Managing Director of Healthcare Conferences UK, and I'm pleased to be here, albeit virtually, to talk about our Prehabilitation Conference and how it resulted in improvements in patient care. I will focus this short presentation on how we assess the impact beyond the conference and also how we pivoted to virtual. We plan, research and develop this conference in-house as a result of national findings and developments highlighting the role of prehabilitation in improving outcomes for patients undergoing surgery or needing cancer treatment. Prehabilitation involves working with patients as soon as they are identified in being in need of treatment to optimise their health, well-being and fitness through exercise, nutrition and psychological support. We involve patients in everything we do. So, of course, the opening speaker was a patient and we offered free patient places. Susanna Hill, a patient who had been through a prehabilitation programme, started the day off highlighting why this issue was so important. We all like to think our events make a difference, but how do we know? This conference changed the way we evaluate a brand new subject and assess impact. All organisers give delegates evaluation straight after the event, but we wanted to demonstrate that our conferences actually change and improve practice in the longer term. 4 months after the conference, we sent an email to delegates asking how the event had influenced and changed their practice. We found that just asking this question really engaged delegates, and we were quite surprised how many responses we got. This is a practice we are now repeating for all similar events, the results of which we used to develop future programmes and also in our marketing to demonstrate long-term impact. The conference develops into a series of events planned for London and Manchester in October and December respectively. But then COVID hit in March and all our events had to be cancelled and the business ground to a halt. And I'm sure I don't need to tell anyone in the audience how stressful and challenging that time was. However, we pivoted to virtual relatively quickly and we had our first virtual masterclass in June with the first virtual conference following in September. And we developed the next prehabilitation event on a virtual portal with a supplier who shall remain nameless. The portal looked great. Delegates can meet each other. They can meet exhibitors. There was a virtual exhibition. We had live and pre-recorded presentations. But sadly, for previous events that we ran on the same portal, a lot of the time it seemed to look like this. So, as a conference organiser, I'm sure you can appreciate the stress of a portal going down mid-conference, with the portal company ignoring our calls, and we had to move all delegates and speakers to Zoom. And after the 5th conference going down, we actually got this down to a fine art. And we had to abandon the portal at this stage. So we switched to Zoom, combined with a landing page on our own website for all our events, which also gave us a lot more control, and it's working really well. Moving to virtual was a huge learning curve for us. It was incredibly hard, very, very stressful. And for most of our staff were on furlough at the time as well. So we did this with only 5 staff, and most of which, including me, were also trying to homeschool our children during lockdown. But we've made it work and the future looks a lot more positive. This conference changed the way we deliver a brand new subject. We're passionate about patient care and always start with the patient perspective and their views on the subject. But we've changed the focus now to identify the long-term impact and impact on patient care. And as a healthcare conference organiser, we don't just want a great conference. We really want to demonstrate that it improves practice and ultimately outcomes for patients. And even if this conference led to just one hospital developing a prehabilitation programme, just imagine the number of patients that would go through that programme and benefit. So on a closing note, recent research has identified that prehabilitation may be useful for all of us because as fitter we are, the lower the risk of COVID-19. Thank you very much.
Excellent. Claire, that was great. You must have learned a great deal during your experiences there. I was particularly keen to hear if you would be able to tell us something about how much the numbers have grown, and just also, do you see that kind of volumization effect carrying on into next year? Yeah.
We're really pleased with that on the delegate side. The bit we have struggled with a bit, I have to it's moving to virtual is the exhibition side. So the exhibitors haven't come on board like the delegates have, but no, the numbers for delegates are very similar to last year, and we're very pleased with that. So
excellent. Well, very many congratulations for becoming a finalist. Thank you so much. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to encourage you now to cast your vote. I, for one, was really impressed with all three of these submissions. You have a tough job on your hands, but I do need to ask you to vote now. And as you know, you just do that quickly. You'll have about 30 minutes, 30 seconds even. And very shortly, we're now going to hand over to Mike, who's going to introduce our finalists in the agency category to you. Mike, I hope that the agency finalists are as impressive as those that we've just heard from. Weren't they great?
I think you can hear me now, Barbara, can you?
Yes, excellent.
Yeah,
thank you.
yes, I thought they were excellent. And it's a tough choice to choose between the three, indeed, and stuff. We must be heading towards our 30-second limits. And I don't even know if I've cast my own votes, and I think I really wanted to, but there we go. Perhaps I'll have to do that after. However, yes, I am really excited to move on to the next category, the agency category. If we so as long as we are start. So what we will do, everyone, is we will tally the votes for the in-house award. But yes, I am indeed excited and delighted to introduce the next category, Best Conference by an Agency PCO. Now, the first finalist for this category is Abbey Conference and Events. Now, the judges felt that this submission was a fantastic submission, highlighting that smaller, less-known destinations can compete and win, excuse me, against top-tier conference locations like Rome and Vienna. The level of work carried out to engage with the local community is very clear. The conference has brought a lot of value to Derry, not only financially, but has helped to create more awareness for this important topic within the local community. Thanks to the help of a fantastic public engagement program prior to the conference arriving into the city. Now, before welcoming Greg Carew from Abbey Conference and Events to join me, we will now showcase the video presentation.
Hi, I'm Randy Thompson. I'm from Calgary, Alberta, Canada, and I've been in Derry since Sunday, and I've been amazingly impressed with the people here their generosity. They welcome us. I've been amazed with the scenery. I've had a chance to go out and see some of the sites, and I just find the people very, very friendly. And I would come back here any day. I would invite anyone to come here just for the history of it.
Couldn't feel more welcome. The people of Derry have just made it incredible. From the cab drivers to the hotels to the shops to just the people on the street.
You know what I like most about the city? Before coming here, I watched Derry Girls, and I think it's hilarious.
I'm Nicholas Proctor. I'm from Adelaide in South Australia, so I've come a long way to be here in Derry. Whilst I'm here for the conference, which is a fantastic conference, I have fallen in love with Derry. I've fallen in love with the people of Derry and the environment of Derry.
Hello, Derry! We're from Brazil. Hey, we're very happy to be here in Londonderry, for the IASP World Congress for Suicide Prevention. We're very happy to participate of this Congress, but also happy because we're in a lovely city full of flowers, with hospitable people, and the food is delicious.
I'm from Devon in England, and I run an organisation called Action to Prevent Suicide. And so I've had the pleasure to come to Derry and spend some wonderful time here. We managed to go out to Brown's, which was the most incredible meal I've had in a long, long time. The service was immaculate. The food was beautiful.
For me, this is definitely one of my favorite places for a conference, because I didn't really know what to expect when we would have a conference here. And it was very surprising to me, but we came here by bus from the airport, and it was such a beautiful city when we entered. In regard to the venues, everything was very close, so all the people, we came with a group of about 30 people, and you just keep running into each other.
Fantastic. Hi, Greg. Thanks for that video. Thanks for joining. How are you?
Good, thanks.
Great. Now, I'm just seeing if we've got a question, and let me just have a look here if there is a question. But just in case, as you know, I've always got one of my own sleeve. So listen, I looking into the video, there was a lot to mention about the legacy of the conference to the area of Derry. Can you elaborate a little bit further on how the conference has influenced local action, or how it has left a mark for the local community?
Yeah, I think that was key to the bid. You know, we felt that Derry had a story to tell, and we wanted to tell it as part of the bid, and the impact that the conference coming to the city could make. And I suppose one of the key things we done was the free public lectures on the final day of the conference. So we had this world-renowned expertise in the city, but we wanted the people of the city to be able to take advantage of that as well. So we collaborated with the keynote speakers, and they delivered free public lectures after the conference finished, which was fantastic. And it was obviously a small city, and the conference really did take over the city. So everybody was aware of it. Everybody knew the conference was in town. They welcomed the delegates. And there's been a number of projects obviously that have happened in the lead up to the conference, and subsequently the Future File project being one, which is an innovative cultural project, which is also having the great impact of suicide prevention mechanism along the River File, which flows through the city as well. So look, it was a record breaking conference. It's had a great impact from that sense in terms of bringing the IASP brand and event into new markets as well. But certainly in terms of the city, there's been a number of benefits, and definitely even a great legacy for a city that unfortunately has been impacted by suicide.
Thank you. Thank you so much for joining us, and good luck.
Thank you.
The next finalist for this category is from MCI UK. And now the judges felt this submission showed an amazing achievement with particular emphasis on the environmental impact and sustainability of global conferences. This was clearly a life-changing event for many of those involved in all aspects. So let's please welcome James Hampton from MCI UK to tell us more.
Hi, my name's Hampton. I'm the Operations Director for the PCO team here at MCI UK. And on behalf of everyone at MCI, delighted to be nominated for this award. In 2019, we were lucky to be appointed as the agency to deliver the One Young World 2019 Summit in London across many venues, including the QE2 Conference Centre and Central Hall, Westminster. The event itself brought together over 2,000 young leaders from 190 countries with the aim of tackling some of the most pressing issues such as poverty, climate change, and access to education. The event had its glitz and glamour, featured prominent figures such as the Duchess of Sussex, Sir Richard Branson, and Professor Eunice. We packed out the Royal Albert Hall for the opening ceremony. It was officially the UK's most international event since the 2012 London Olympics. But the true inspiration came from the delegates, who in most cases travelled thousands of miles, some never having left their own country before, to come together and be part of something that delivers actual change. The delegates made the programme, and many had their own stories to tell and share. All were inspiring, some incredibly heartbreaking. And it was unique to see every single person in the audience transfixed on the voice on stage, without a thought to ever pulling out a mobile phone and catching up on emails.
We're honoured and excited to be bringing One Young World to London for our 10th anniversary summit.
Volunteers supported the event at every given touch point, and that was from the rousing welcome at the airport through to hotel check-in, local city knowledge, accessibility champions, and most importantly, a really friendly face.
It's incredibly rewarding to facilitate the conversation that drives the world change and bring the One Young World Summit to life for its 10th anniversary year in London.
My personal highlights of the summit are the beautiful, impactful, sometimes horrible stories that are shared during the summit by very strong people who can and will make a change in the future.
There are so many highlights. My personal favourite was during the opening ceremony at the Royal Albert Hall, when representatives from North and South Korea took the stage during the flag bearing ceremony.
So the highlight for me, aside from all the inspiring people, was the volunteers themselves. Incredible commitment, enthusiasm. It was so inspiring, it just blew me away.
At MCI we believe when people come together, magic happens. And this is exactly what happens during the One Young World Summit. The magic really happens.
For me personally, the inspiration was the 300 plus volunteers that really made this event happen. I've never had to manage a team of over 300 people before. I couldn't have been luckier with the amazing individuals that gave up their time with no financial incentive to play their part. Most of the volunteers were young, still at college, making their first strides in the world. Their attitude was incredible. There was one volunteer I remember, he'd just finished an 18-hour shift and was more concerned that I'd had something to eat and I'd had a rest. They were completely selfless, truly the hardest I've seen anyone work, and we became a family and we still keep in touch today. There were so many themes the event covered, but it's worth mentioning sustainability, as I know it's a core focus for all of us. Every little detail was thought of to ensure One Young World as a brand was leading by example. Hotels were in walking distance, people travelled by public transport with electric cars used when needed, flights were offset with carbon offsetting schemes, catering was entirely meat-free, and single-use plastic was minimised almost fully. This was without doubt the most unique experience I've had the pleasure of being part of. And there was a particular speaker who was also a delegate that I remember. He got up on stage and told his story and how passionate he was to support his cause. So much so that the rules of his country dictated that by leaving to attend the event meant that he would never be allowed to return. He gave an emotional speech on stage and apologised to his parents who unfortunately weren't there to see that, but it was just one of those incredibly emotional and impactful stories that were shared. So thank you for your attention and wishing you all a fantastic Christmas.
Well, James, thank you very much. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks,
here.
Mike.
There might be some questions coming in, but I really actually want to ask an extra one if I can. What happened to that person who told their story? And then I think, what was it, unable to return to their home country?
Unable to return to their home country, I know. I don't know actually what the result was in the end, but It was just incredible, the people that were committed to this particular event. The stories they told were, just constantly tears in the audience, And this particular guy, I think it was probably Korea over that way that he came from. But I'd hope there's a happy ending somewhere there for him, for sure.
Indeed. Listen, I think it really sounded like you tried really hard to put a real sustainable event together. And obviously when you succeed like you have, the question I've had about it is was that also recognized by those attending, delegates, speakers, sponsors, and how did they buy into that? How did you communicate your intent to them?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, it was it was a big part of the conference, a big theme of the conference that everything needed to be sustainable, that everybody needed to play their part. So yeah, the communications were right through from the start, from joining instructions and everything through the website, when they attended, when they turned up, briefings in all sessions, and yeah, everybody came on board, and it was fantastic. And it's impossible to be entirely 100% sustainable, but we definitely did our best, and it was great to see, great to be part of it.
Listen, thanks for joining, and thanks for your submission and presentation.
Thanks a lot, Mike. Thank you.
Now, we would like to now move to our final finalists for today, representing Haymarket. Now, this submission impressed the judges, who highlighted it was also a very good submission with fantastic evidence of adapting a physical conference into a virtual event in a matter of weeks. It's clear that delegates were impressed and loved the virtual element of the conference, and a lot of work and time had gone into making the conference accessible and affordable for all. Great work, especially in a challenging time for the industry. So I'd like to welcome our final agency presenter, David Monahan from Haymarket, and here is their video.
And I'm going to tell you very quickly about how we created the Virtual Festival of Work and why I think this will be a worthy winner of this award. When COVID hit us earlier this year, we moved lightning fast to translate a 2-day physical event, packed full of content and features, into a virtual experience with 5 parallel streams of content, 46 virtual exhibition booths, and a whole host of festival features, attracting over 15,000 attendees, which was more than double the attendance of the 2019 face-to-face event. The success of the event has had a massive positive impact on the CIPD's membership engagement and reinforced their position as the leading voice on HR and people development. The Festival of Work was scheduled for 10th to 11th of June, so when we went into lockdown in March, we were already less than 10 weeks away. We could have cancelled or postponed, but with the CIPD's membership of HR professionals facing a range of new challenges, from remote working to furlough, we felt we needed to go ahead, and to show support for the HR profession, the CIPD made the event free for their members. By that point, we had only 6 weeks until the event, and while we'd already run our first virtual events, the scale of the Virtual Festival of Work was a different order of magnitude altogether. We quickly saw that we would need to rework the 10 streams of content planned for the face-to-face event. So we added an extra day to the festival and streamlined the agenda to 5 parallel streams, while keeping a great lineup of over 70 speakers, including keynotes like John Amici, Hannah Fry, and Matthew Syed. For the exhibition, our sales team had to quickly get to grips with the functionality of our virtual platform. We were able to carry 45 exhibitors across the Virtual Festival of Work, give them virtual booths which they were able to customize with their own designs, and on which they were able to host a range of free content and hold video meetings with visitors. The biggest challenge was to maintain the feel of the Festival of Work in an online environment. We developed the concept of the Wellbeing Hub, which would be a dedicated part of the exhibition featuring mindfulness, online yoga classes, and other content, giving attendees a break from the agenda and demonstrating how employers can contribute to the well-being of their teams. So that was what we did. But how did it land with the audience, and specifically the CIPD membership? Well, everyone was blown away by the response we got. In total, we had over 29,000 people sign up for the event, and over 15,000 people logged into the virtual event, either live or on demand. And when the event opened on 10th of June, the response from attendees was overwhelming. People loved the content, the platform, and the interactions. Social media was abuzz, with the hashtag Festival of Work trending at #2 on Twitter and posts all over LinkedIn, including from this delegate, who recorded a 3.5-minute video shouting out, and I quote, "the wizards who created this event." What came through from many people was that by going virtual, we had made it accessible to them for the first time, perhaps because of family commitments, distance of travel, or simply because large physical events were not good for their mental health. The virtual Festival of Work demonstrated the CIPD's position as the leading authority on everything to do with great work. And by demonstrating the engagement possible with virtual events, we created a pathway to a hybrid model where our audience can attend in a way that works best for them. And we think that is something to celebrate.
Hello, David. How are you?
I'm good, thanks, Michael.
Thanks for joining us. It's a good video there. Now, I do have a question or two from the audience, if I may. The first one asks, did you keep the original date or did you postpone?
No, we did keep the original date. We didn't postpone because obviously we had a lot of speakers already committed to those dates. And obviously delegates had those dates in their diary as well. So we had to stick with the original dates, even though that did make it quite a tight turnaround.
And the tight turnaround going from a physical event to a virtual one, what was the actual hardest challenge? There are lots of challenges, I know, in trying to get that done, but it's a hard question. Challenge in your view?
Well, there were quite a few, as you suggest. I think the most difficult thing really is locking down a platform very quickly enough to make sure that you then have enough time to prepare it. So I think the combination of choosing the platform and then working with that platform to deliver all the different elements of the event and all the different complexities, and I guess trying to synthesize everything that you do at a large scale physical event as a virtual.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us. Thanks for answering the questions and good luck.
Thanks very much.
Okay, that brings us to the voting. And at this time, can you please vote for the best agency PCO you felt most met the criteria? And can I just remind you what the criteria is? The criteria is what makes the event worthy of recognition, what was innovative and challenged previous practice, and what was the impact and legacy of the event. Vote. I promised to give you more time. I think I might have cut off our other voting process, but hopefully we got enough in. Please bear in mind that you are voting for those you think met the criteria, not those who presented or provided the best video. So, back in with me. I wonder, is it Barbara or is it Martin? Or is it Barbara? I'm going back to Barbara. But Barbara, if you are there, what did you think? Did you think that we've got some great examples so far? I think that we definitely have some fantastic examples of great practice in our sector.
Well, what I can say was that I think those are just 3 incredible examples of the work ABPCO PCOs have been working on, and at such last year, completely different experience from my own organization, such an incredible opportunity. But listening to Abby's presentation and also Haymarket, what we've all been doing, it is the strength of ABPCO and our memberships that delivers these fantastic events, though the in-house ones we saw earlier and these. And I think I speak for us all to say, what a great community to belong to. So apparently my camera is off at the moment.
I can hear you though, so once you get that in. But no, you're absolutely right. There is some fantastic, competent, and excellent people delivering some great events throughout our membership, and I am always impressed by the excellence that is shown in us. And I think that is a real credit to the type of people we have in ABPCO and stuff. Absolutely, both in-house and agency. It's incredible.
Okay, so for those of you that can hear me but can't see me, actually, I think I'm going to, whilst we just look at that technical glitch, can't see my face, but you can look at Mike's. We are now going to move to the our Partner Recognition Awards. And as you know, this year we have changed the way we recognise our partners, and we asked our members to nominate those they felt had supported them in some way. I'm delighted that we have 5 partner awards to present today. Don't forget to tweet about them and show them some love on social media and use hashtag ABPCO Excellence Awards 2020. And so to our first Partner Recognition Award, we are going to hear from Rose Padmore, who's going to tell us all about Meet Cambridge.
As their website says, they offer a suite of bureau services and a single contact for an incredible portfolio of venues at the University of Cambridge, the Cambridge colleges, hotels and other unique properties in the city and beyond. It also says, we enjoy bringing businesses together, and although a simple statement, I believe that this vision for collaboration is what underpins their success. I first met the MC team over 8 years ago while attending a hosted fan trip, and it's still one of the most memorable. Since then, I have had a number of opportunities to meet and work with them as industry colleagues or fellow ABPCO members. Last December, we worked alongside Judith and her team when appointed as Operations PCO for a leading international 3-day conference in the field of robotics and artificial intelligence. This was to take place early March this year across multiple venues. Having come on board unusually late in the process meant that we very much dovetailed with the MC team, particularly at the beginning, often basing ourselves in their office. This was such a natural and easy arrangement, making for great efficiency of communication, which we found to be essential. We witnessed the team's professionalism, knowledge, and willingness to help, as well as their obvious respect of all their venues and contacts. Although the conference was cancelled at very short notice due to the pandemic, Meet Cambridge were there for us throughout the whole journey, providing invaluable knowledge and literally 24/7 support. The impact of this genuine caring support was felt by all parties, client, venues and suppliers. In such a situation, when there is no magic wand, you really couldn't hope for anything more. Their ongoing support of the Cambridge Conference and Events family during the last most difficult of months, I know has continued to be incredible, even in the face of what must have seemed like an impossible task. The Meet Cambridge team, led by Judith Sloan, have remained resolute and very much taken on a roll your sleeves up approach, seeking out positives and implementing new initiatives that have opened up collaboration on a whole new level to make sure that when the green light is given, Cambridge, as a destination for meetings and events, will bounce back.
Unfortunately, just getting her camera fixed, but I have the pleasure of introducing the next slide from Therese Dolan, introducing Hiscox.
On behalf of MCI, I would like to nominate Hiscox for the Partner Award. Hiscox have been providing ABPCO members with event insurance for many years, and they've long been MCI's partner of choice to insure our events, both in the UK and in our offices across Europe. At MCI, we certainly value their guidance and advice on insurance, and it really helps us to give our association customers peace of mind when their conference is appropriately insured through a globally recognised broker that fully understands the association congress market. Insurance is one of those things that you always make sure you have in place, but you always hope you'll never need to use. But 2020 had other plans for us all, and while we scrambled around at the early part of the year trying to understand what to do when the pandemic hit, should we postpone, should we cancel, could we cancel? Our colleagues at Hiscox were there for us, trying to navigate through it all with us, but always calm and always supportive. And Martin even hosted a round table with ABPCO to try help us understand how to best get through the situation we all found ourselves in. Throughout the past 10 months, we've called on them more than ever before. And now, as we move into yet another year of new ways of working, They're there with us once again to explore the world of virtual and hybrid events and how on earth we go about ensuring them. As I said, Hiscox have always been there in the background, but they're never recognised for these types of awards because, well, when everything goes well, we don't need to call on them. But this year has shown us how much we depend on them. And when we did call, they delivered time and time again. So I'd like to thank Martin, Marion, Lee, and all at Hiscox for their support this year and congratulate them on their nomination for the ABPCO Partner Award.
Fantastic. Thanks, Therese. We are now going to move to the next nominees, Kate Sargent and Christine Carr, and they have nominated the SEC Scottish Event Campus.
On behalf of Christine and myself, this is our collaborative video in support of having both nominated the SEC for a Partner Recognition Excellence Award. Given everything that this past year has thrown at our industry, our partnerships have been one of our greatest assets. ABPCO is about bringing the community together and promoting excellence, and we feel that our experiences this year with the SEC have been a shining example of this and worthy of recognition.
I nominated the SEC for the ABPCO Excellence Awards because of the partnership and collaboration they provided in working with MCI on the preparation for the World Biomaterials Congress 2020. The World Biomaterials Congress was due to take place in May 2020, so as you can imagine, preparations were nearly finalised when COVID struck. The SEC were incredibly supportive and flexible by working with us to secure a new date in December. And then subsequently, when the final decision had to be made to cancel, the team were once again outstanding in working with us on this difficult decision. Their work on turning the venue into the Louisa Jordan Hospital cannot go without mention, a task that I can only imagine was no mean feat. Alongside this, the SE team have always been so good to all at MCI through their flexibility, willingness to support, and by the high quality service they provide.
Despite the SEC being in an impossible position regarding a bioscientific client event for reasons outside of their control, they approached discussions sensitively and demonstrated understanding of frustrations of our clients. The impact of their approach and demonstration of value as a true partner made it easier for us as a PCO, but also protected the long-term relationship with the clients. For these reasons, we nominate the whole of the SEC team for recognition this year. Thank you.
Fantastic. Great stuff so far. And we are now going to hear from Kate again, who have also nominated ACC Liverpool. Let's see what she says about that.
On behalf of Bioscientifica, this is our video nomination for the ACC Liverpool for a Partner Recognition Excellence Award. Over the life of our long-standing relationship with the ACC Liverpool as a venue for our PCO clients, we've been impressed by the responsiveness and clear commitment to always delivering the best possible event and the best possible service. This has been demonstrated acutely in 2020 with the ongoing threat of the pandemic to a Q3 international event for 4,000 delegates, when the ACC approached the crisis discussions with a complete willingness to find the best solution for all parties, demonstrating flexibility and collaboration, attributes of a valued partner. The impact of the ACC Liverpool's approach to the contractual and operational negotiations provided stability for ourselves as an agency PCO and our client during a desperately uncertain time. It was clear that the team at the ACC Liverpool were facing their own significant challenges and uncertainty, as well as the mammoth job of rescheduling their entire calendar, but not once were we or our client made to feel that we were not their top priority. This was much appreciated in the spirit of collaboration, but also hugely important for our association clients' financial situation. This is why I feel that they are worthy of ABPCO recognition this year. Thank you.
That's excellent, Kate. Thanks so much for that. And now we're going to move to our final Partners Award this afternoon, and that's going to be Mike for P&J Live.
I have submitted a partner recognition for P&J Live, and I'd like to explain my reasons why. Well, last year, P&J Live opened their doors for the first time, and we at Renewable UK were hosting actually two events there within the first 4 weeks. Our experience was, of course, fantastic. And we very much appreciated the great service the team gave us there, really helping us to deliver 2 great event deliveries that we are quite proud of. But further than that, because that's just a standard way that work with us and PCOs. This year, we had scheduled more events at the P&J Live, and then the pandemic hit us and impacted us all greatly. We were all scrambling to understand our risk implications and either cancel or postpone our events. We were just all uncertain in such a difficult time. Kim and her team there were extremely accommodating in that process for us and worked hard to ensure the right solution fitted both the P&J Live and Renewable UK. I think we ended up changing the dates 3 times. So I'd like to express my thanks to the team, thanks to Kim, on how that was handled so seamlessly and so early in the crisis, because we just didn't know the impact that the rest of the year was coming to us. So that is my reasons for my submission.
Brilliant. Thanks so much, Mike, and well deserved, P&J. In fact, I'm so pleased that all our nominated partners are on the call today. Congratulations to you all. So Meet Cambridge, Judith Sloan, Hiscox, Martin Linfield and Marion Rankin, SEC, Kathleen Warden and Shelley Spencer, ACC Liverpool, Heather Bonner, and P&J Live, Steve Dawn and Kim Stephen. Really great congratulations to you all. Fantastic. Over to you, Mike.
Absolutely fantastic. And welcome back, Barbara, by the way. Listen, I really hope you are all enjoying the videos and having great examples of good practice from our membership. And please, I know Barbara mentioned it and we will continue to mention it, but please do tweet about the event, our finalists, our nominated partners receiving recognition using hashtag ABPCO Excellence Awards 2020. Now, I have the honor of introducing a new award for this year, our Lockdown Hero Awards. Now, these go to those organizations that have risen to the challenge of COVID and gone above and beyond to help their stakeholders. We have 3 of these awards to present today. Fortunately, all were briefed in advance and asked to provide a short video to explain the story in their own words. So the first one I would like to introduce is Fiona McDonald from Millbrook Medical Conferences.
Hello, I'm Fiona McDonald, founder and MD of Millbrook Medical Conferences. Our story is about a conference we organised during lockdown, the Imperial College COVID-19 Cardiovascular Disease Conference. At that time, Imperial College London cardiologists were in their own words, drowning in COVID patients. There was little knowledge retreating patients with COVID and certainly no systems in place for looking after such an unprecedented volume of cases. The virus had spread earlier in China and Europe, and it was important for doctors in the UK to learn from those physicians who had some experience of treating COVID patients. On Tuesday, the 24th of March, the day after lockdown started, we were approached by Dr. Ramsey Camis, consultant cardiologist at Imperial. His team were frantic to understand this virus quickly and stressed that the increasing spread of this disease meant that if we were going to put together a global educational conference, it had to be done within 10 days to have any effect. On that first call, the date of the meeting was agreed, Thursday, the 2nd of April. For us, this was an amazing opportunity to step in and do our bit. The death rate from COVID-19 cases in the UK was horrifying, and the R number was rising. Cardiologists were in despair as patients were dying before they'd been seen. Millbrook had the resources and professional relationships to be able to produce this conference. The only thing that wasn't on our side was time. Millbrook had never done anything like this before, let alone live. And once the programme was agreed, we wrote a list of the challenges and addressed each one separately. To secure a faculty of 31 international experts for the 2nd of April, during what was a busy clinical time for them and many of whom were not tech savvy. Generate a global audience with no funds, We pulled in all our favours, contacting publishing groups, medical societies, large congress organisers and flooded social media. To squeeze in 27 live presentations with Q&A in a 4-hour time, we were using Teams, so no scope to run over, and to learn how to use Microsoft Teams. It was a great success, and the impact of the meeting reached to all areas of the globe. It made it all so worthwhile. 5,600 healthcare professionals from around the world watched it live that day. Since then, a further 3,500 have watched it on demand. The live Q&A helped viewers to interact with faculty, getting answers to questions that weren't covered in the presentations. Details of how treatment strategies could be set up were shared, and as a result, patient care benefited and is continuing to benefit directly from this first CVD in COVID conference. We'd like to thank Dr. Ramsey Camis for taking the initiative to kickstart this important conference, and to thank you for listening. Please take care.
Fantastic. Thank you, Fiona, for that. Now, our second Lockdown Hero Award will be presented by Nicole Liga from NCRI.
Hello? Hello? Can you hear me? Oh, hi everyone. My name is Nicole Lida. I'm head of conference and events at the National Cancer Research Institute, and this is my team. Say hello, everyone. I'm just going to introduce Jen now, who is going to tell you a bit more about our project. Jen, over to you.
Thanks, Nicole. I'm Jennifer Mathias, an event manager at NCRI. We are very excited to have received this ABPCO recognition for the work we have done this year, delivering over 20 virtual sessions and 1 virtual showcase since June. Over to you, Amrit.
Thanks, Jennifer. Hi, I'm Amrit Ranger, another event manager at the NCRI. In April 2020, we made the difficult decision to postpone our annual conference, which was due to be held in November. As the program had already been finalized, we decided to redesign it and deliver it over a period of 5 months, hosting up to 2 one-hour sessions per week, and also a 2-day virtual event to showcase research abstracts in early November. Over to you, Rosie.
Thanks, Amrit. Hi, I'm Rosie Furner-Cornhouse, Event Coordinator at the NCRI. All webinars we delivered were live, allowing delegates to interact with speakers through a Q&A function. The showcase included live and pre-recorded sessions with over 12 hours of content over the 2 days. Over to you, Natalie.
Thanks, Rosie. Hi, I'm Natalie Skark, Event Marketing Manager at the NCRI. Overall, the sessions attracted over 6,000 unique participants in total. To put things into perspective, our annual conference attracted around 1,200 participants last year, and other face-to-face events we ran had on average 100 participants. So overall, we've managed to engage with a lot more people than we previously did. Over to you, Ashley.
Hi, thanks very much, Natalie, for introducing me. I'm Ashley Webb. I'm the Sponsorship and Exhibition Manager at the NCRI. We're proud of having been able to deliver the virtual event series this year with no additional budget. None of us are AV experts, and we learned how to make it work. And the feedback we received from both attendees and supporters of the virtual series has been excellent. Now back to you, Nicole.
Thank you, Ashley. All in all, I think we did a great job, and I'm very proud of the team. Thank you, ABPCO, for having us today and to allow us to tell you a bit more about what we've been doing. I hope you enjoyed the rest of the awards, and to see you all soon. Bye.
That was great. Great entertainment there. Thank you, Nicole. And finally, our final lockdown hero goes to Samantha Salisbury from Johnson.
Hey everyone. So at the beginning of lockdown, back in February, before lockdown, I set up a Facebook group, Get Ahead in Events. And then the pandemic hit, and I really felt that a lot of event professionals were struggling during the first lockdown. A lot of them were made furloughed and they didn't know if they would have a role to return to. Some of them were sadly made redundant. So over the period of April, June and July, I ran a series of events called Elevate Your Events Career. That was in April, at the end of April, and then there was Elevate Your Events Career 2 in June, and then the third one was held at the end of July. The reason for running those events was really to help people to gain some expertise, help, and information and knowledge about what they could do during a pandemic for their events career, whether that was because they were a student or someone at the start of their career, whether there was someone who'd been in events for a long time, whether they were freelancers in a permanent role or looking for voluntary work. It was really to give them guidance and help with things like CV writing, being more confident, Instagram support, LinkedIn. You know, we covered so many different topics in those sessions. We also had panel experts came in and talked about sustainability and also about virtual events. And each of those events started off with kind of key speakers in the industry giving an overview of where the events industry was. Now we are in November, the Get Ahead and Events group has grown. It's now almost 750 members, and we do weekly events on Thursday mornings at 10 about various different topics. Today we did one about working with convention bureaus. We also have a book club, a virtual book club called Feel Good Book Club, which is all about self-development books. And we have a Networking Connect every other week as well, which is a virtual coffee morning. Last week we had our first ever social. We had about 34 members joined us for a fantastic virtual escape room. And now I have a committee helping me as well. So I have 7 other amazing event professionals based in different parts of the world. So Cyprus, Dubai and the UK helping me. I asked if anyone of people wanted to help me and they did. So it's fantastic to have that support. So sometimes they host the event, sometimes they find the speakers, sometimes one of them ran the social event last week. And so really it's just about giving people that community, that help in terms of learning and development during this time. Thank you.
You agree that these people are all worthy of recognition. Some fantastic Nicole and Samantha there. Thank you so much for sharing your experiences. Fantastic work, and I think we all applaud you. Now, just before we move to announce our winners today, Barbara and I wanted to give a shout out to some of the members and key people that have helped us so far this year in our management of ABPCO. Firstly, thanks to all of our executive. We much appreciate your input and your support. Of course, thanks to our sponsor Hiscox and actually all of our preferred partners. Many thanks to you. All of those who have volunteered as speakers and hosts of our events so far this year. Thanks to the task force of volunteers who have already contributed a great deal. We are ever so grateful for that. And anyone who shares our social media posts and has supported us in our ongoing work throughout. We could not do any of our work without you, so thanks indeed. Did you want to mention anything about those things, Barbara, while you're there?
Well, I'm just so grateful that we have all those fantastic supporters with us. We don't, do any of this without the help of our executive, the people behind the scenes, and so forth. So I can only add to what you've already said, Mike.
Fantastic. Now, it's been a whistle-stop event so far, but I am delighted to tell you it is time. It is time to present our winners for the best conference by an in-house PCO and the best conference by an agency PCO. What we will do now is we will invite our sponsor, Martin Linfield from Hiscox, to come onto the stage with us, and he will be able to present these awards. Welcome, Martin. How are you?
Hi, Mike. Yeah, hi, everybody. I'm good, thank you.
What great stuff so far. I particularly enjoyed the lockdown hero presentations there. Did you see those?
Yeah, it's seriously impressive, I have to say. I think it's been a monumental year, and everybody has adapted so very well to some pretty challenging times.
Indeed, and I'm sure there are many more examples, but I thought those were particularly three great examples there. Now it is time. Are you ready? So I think that what we will do is we'll start with the best conference by an in-house PCO, and I hand it over to you to announce our winner.
Yeah, thank you very much, everybody. And the winner is IPSE. Congratulations to them. Fantastic.
Absolutely brilliant stuff by Sarah there. It was a good presentation. Congratulations to her. Also, congratulations to our other finalists, because they were all really good indeed. And it was a really tough to choose between the three. But absolutely great for Sarah and her team. Right, our next announcements, Martin. We're going to move to the best conference by an agency PCO, and I will hand it back to you for the announcement.
Thanks, Mike. I thought all of these are absolutely fantastic. Quite difficult to pick a winner, but you have, and the winner is Haymarket. Congratulations to Haymarket. Fantastic.
Brilliant stuff to Haymarket. Many congratulations from Martin there. Many congratulations from Barbara and myself. All deserving winners, of course, and as I should always mention, all deserving finalists, because they were some great examples of some great practice. Please don't forget to tweet about our winners and our finalists using the hashtag ABPCO Excellence Awards 2020. Thanks, Martin, for your announcement there. Really appreciate that. But we are not done yet. We have one final award to give, and I'm pleased to welcome back to the stage Barbara.
Thanks, Mike. And so to the special ABPCO Chairman's Award. This is one that Mike and I feel quite passionate about. Winners of this award represent and embody all the values of being an ABPCO member: learning, excellence, and belonging. But this year, more than any previous year, we feel that our industry has needed an industry voice. So, Martin Fullard has been a role model for the events industry during 2020. Martin has taken the bull by the horns and has been a loud voice for the industry. He has done this with ambition, perseverance, and tenacity. Martin has shown real empathy for event professionals and has proactively been the catalyst for a collaboration, one industry, one voice, which will amplify our industry voice. Times have been hard and trade media relies on advertising, but rather than winding down, Martin has ramped up his output, thus helping to build an industry that is sustainable in the long term. Congratulations to you, Martin. A few words.
Yes, you caught me sort of off guard here. I wasn't really prepared for that. I'm a bit taken aback. Thank you so much to everyone for that consideration. Yes, it's been one heck of a year. We're not done yet, but like you say, it's needed a voice and it's needed perseverance. And if anything else, I think that we have achieved, we have broken through, and let's make that message even louder and stronger in 2021. Thank you to everybody.
And so very well deserved, Martin. Congratulations from us all. So really, that just leaves us to say a final thank you for being a fantastic audience, and huge congratulations to all those showcased today. Please can we ask all the finalists just to stay on the call so that we can have a quick photo in the green room.
For today's events, we want to express a final thanks to those who have helped with the awards themselves. So please, let's extend a thanks to Paul and his team at Eventsair for helping us deliver these awards virtually today by allowing us to use their platform. Thank you to you. Thanks to Nexus for their gorgeous gifts that were all sent out. I hope some of you received them. Our MCI colleagues for assisting in the final delivery. Thank you for your help. And of course, we would always thank particularly to Heather Lishman and Adam Beck for organizing, preparing, and promoting the awards as they have done. We could not have done this without them, of course. So that's it, everyone. Thanks again for all joining us. We look forward to 2021 and what we can achieve. Do continue to tweet about today, our winners and our finalists, and the very best of luck to you, and stay safe. Have a good Christmas.